Who truly has the toughest special forces in Asia? This question sparks endless debate, especially when comparing China and the Philippines. Both nations face very different threats, environments, and histories. One relies on massive resources and advanced technology. The other depends on adaptability, experience, and survival skills learned in real combat. This documentary looks beyond propaganda and headlines to explore how Chinese and Filipino special forces are trained, tested, and proven. The answer may surprise you, and by the end, you'll see toughness in a very different way. China's special forces are part of one of the largest militaries in the world. With millions of personnel and a huge defense budget, China has the ability to train units in extreme conditions. Their special forces are designed to operate in deserts, mountains, frozen regions, and urban areas. From the beginning, Chinese units are shaped by discipline, strict hierarchy, and intense physical conditioning meant to break weakness and build obedience. The Philippines, by contrast, has a much smaller military. Its special forces were not built for global power projection, but for survival against real threats at home. Filipino units were forged through decades of fighting insurgents, terrorists, and criminal groups in jungles, mountains, and coastal regions. Their training focuses less on show and more on what works when supplies are low, backup is far away, and mistakes cost lives. Chinese Special Forces training is known for its extreme physical demands. Recruits endure long-distance marches, sleep deprivation, freezing water immersion, and strict endurance tests. Training emphasizes teamwork, following orders without hesitation, and performing under constant pressure. These soldiers are prepared to operate as part of large, well-coordinated military campaigns where timing and structure matter as much as strength. Filipino Special Forces training is different in tone and purpose. It emphasizes independence, creativity, and adaptability. Soldiers are taught to survive alone for days or weeks with minimal supplies. Jungle survival, tracking counter-ambush tactics, and blending with local populations are core skills. Filipino units train to think on their feet, because in real missions, plans often collapse quickly. One major difference is environment. China trains its special forces in controlled but extreme environments, deserts, snowfields, and high-altitude regions. These are physically punishing, but predictable. The Philippines trains almost entirely in jungles, swamps, mountains, and coastal villages. These environments are chaotic, unpredictable, and constantly changing, forcing soldiers to adapt every hour. Chinese special forces rely heavily on advanced equipment. Modern weapon night vision systems, drones, armored vehicles, and high-tech communications are standard. Their doctrine assumes access to logistical support and coordination with larger units. Technology plays a major role in how Chinese units fight, gather intelligence, and control the battlefield. Filipino special forces operate with far less technology. While modern equipment is used when available, training assumes it can fail or be unavailable. Soldiers learn to navigate without GPS, communicate silently, and gather intelligence through human interaction. This creates fighters who are comfortable operating with little support, relying more on skill than gear. Combat experience is another key factor. Chinese special forces train constantly, but have limited recent real-world combat experience compared to some nations. Their exercises are realistic and intense, but most are simulated. The lessons learned come from drills, evaluations, and doctrine rather than continuous battlefield exposure. Filipino special forces, on the other hand, have extensive real combat experience. For decades, they have conducted live operations against armed groups in difficult terrain. These missions involve real ambushes, real casualties, and real consequences. Experience under fire shapes instincts that cannot be fully taught in training alone. Discipline in Chinese units is absolute. Orders are followed without question, and cohesion is strong. This makes them extremely effective in coordinated operations where precision and timing are critical. However, strict hierarchy can sometimes limit flexibility when situations change unexpectedly. Filipino units encourage initiative at the lowest levels. Junior soldiers are trained to make decisions when leaders are absent or communications fail. This flexibility is essential in jungle warfare, where small units are often isolated. The downside is that success depends heavily on individual judgment and experience. Psychological toughness is measured differently in both forces. Chinese training focuses on enduring pain, discomfort, and authority. Soldiers are pushed to their limits to build mental resistance and obedience. The goal is to create fighters who do not break under pressure. Filipino psychological training focuses on patience, awareness, and emotional control. Soldiers must remain calm during long periods of boredom, fear, and uncertainty. Jungle operations require quiet endurance rather than constant action. Mental toughness here means staying alert and disciplined even when nothing happens for days. When it comes to counterterrorism and counterinsurgency, Filipino special forces have a clear advantage. They have refined tactics through years of fighting small mobile enemies who blend into civilian populations. Understanding local culture and language is a critical part of their effectiveness. Chinese special forces are more focused on large-scale conflict scenarios, including potential regional or global operations. Their training prepares them to support conventional forces, seize strategic objectives, and neutralize high-value targets in coordinated campaigns. Their strength lies in scale and organization. Physical toughness alone does not decide superiority. Chinese soldiers are often stronger, faster, and better equipped. Filipino soldiers are often leaner, more patient, and more experienced in harsh environments. Each force reflects the needs and realities of its country. If the fight takes place in open terrain with heavy support, Chinese special forces would likely dominate through technology, numbers, and coordination. Their ability to integrate air, ground, and intelligence assets gives them a significant advantage. If the fight takes place deep in jungle terrain with limited support, Filipino special forces would hold the edge. Their knowledge of terrain, survival skills, and counter-ambush tactics could neutralize technological advantages and turn the environment itself into a weapon. So who is tougher? The answer depends on how toughness is defined. If toughness means enduring extreme physical punishment within a strict system, Chinese special forces excel. If toughness means surviving and winning with limited resources in chaotic conditions, Filipino special forces stand out. Both forces are products of their histories. China prepares for large-scale power competition. The Philippines prepares for constant, close-range conflict at home. Each has developed strengths that match its strategic needs. There is no single winner because toughness is not universal. It changes with terrain, mission, and circumstances. A soldier strong in one environment may struggle in another. What truly matters is adaptability. Modern warfare rewards those who can learn, adjust, and survive when plans fail. In this area, both forces continue to evolve. Comparing Chinese and Filipino special forces is not about declaring superiority. It is about understanding how different paths create different kinds of warriors, each dangerous in their own way. In the end, the toughest special forces are not defined by flags or budgets, but by how well they endure reality. China shows strength through scale and discipline. The Philippines shows strength through experience and resilience. And that is what makes this comparison so compelling.